Kerala road trips have a magic of their own, especially when the rain decides to join you. In this 3-part series, we are driving from Kochi into the Western Ghats, exploring the misty hills of Munnar and the forests of Thekadi. And today, the journey begins with a rainy drive from Kochi to Munnar. As we leave Kochi behind, the landscape slowly begins to change. The drive through Munnar is around 130 kilometers, but it's not a drive you rush. Because somewhere along the way, the flat coastal landscape transforms into winding mountain roads, lush greenery, and misty hills. One of the first beautiful stops along this route is the Cheeyappara Waterfalls. The stunning 7-tier waterfall cascades down rocky slopes right beside the highway. During the monsoon season, the waterfall becomes even more dramatic with powerful streams of water flowing down the mountain. It's the perfect place to stretch your legs, take a few photos, and enjoy Kerala's monsoon magic. It's also the perfect place to grab some fresh fruit. We also saw the small, unique bridge where only one car can pass at a time. From here, the road begins to climb higher into the Western Ghats. The air gets cooler, the roads start twisting through the hills, and the mist begins to drift across the mountains. This is when the drive really starts to feel like a hill station road trip. As we get closer to Munnar, the roads become busier and the hills even greener. This is what Munnar is famous for: endless green plantations, stretching across the hills like a perfectly patterned carpet. The tea plantations here date back to the late 19th century, when the British first began cultivating tea in this region because of its cool climate and high altitude. Today, Munnar is one of the most important tea growing regions in India, and these estates stretch across thousands of acres of the Western Ghats. On a rainy day like today, the mist drifting across the plantations makes everything feel even more magical. It's the kind of place where you just want to slow down the car, roll down the window, and take in the view. If you look closely, you'll notice the tea plants are trimmed into low, even bushes. This makes it easier for the workers to harvest the young leaves, which are then processed into the tea that eventually makes its way into cups all around the world. One of the most scenic stops along this route is Lockhart Gap View Point. The valley here is said to resemble the shape of a heart, which is how the place got its name. On clear days, you can see sweeping views of the mountains and valleys stretching into the distance. But today, the mist keeps drifting in and out, revealing the landscape for just a moment before covering it again. As we continue driving deeper into the hills, the landscape begins to transform completely. As we continue the drive, the scenery slowly becomes more and more beautiful. The hills here are completely covered in tea plantations. Bright green rows of tea bushes stretch across the mountains in every direction. From a distance, the plantations almost look like someone carefully designed patterns across the hills. Every curve of the mountain is lined with tea plants, creating these smooth, rolling waves of green. The cool climate, frequent rain, and high altitude make these hills the perfect place for growing tea. And as you drive through them, you start to understand why this place is so special. The road gently winds through the plantations, sometimes climbing higher into the hills, sometimes dipping into small valleys, and around every corner the view changes again. Sometimes the mist opens up just enough to reveal entire hillsides covered in tea plants. As we drive further, we also start seeing small roadside stalls along the way. And then a few seconds later, the clouds roll back in and hide everything again. The weather here changes constantly. One moment you can see far across the valleys, and the next moment the entire landscape disappears into thick mountain mist. But somehow that's part of the charm of this drive. The mist makes everything feel quieter, calmer, and a little mysterious. A little further along the way, we make another scenic stop at Anayirankal Dam. Surrounded by rolling tea plantations and mist-covered hills, this place feels incredibly peaceful. The calm water reflecting the cloudy skies makes it one of the most relaxing stops on this road trip. After a long but incredibly scenic drive through waterfalls, tea estates, and misty mountain roads, we finally arrive at our stay for the next couple of days, the Yalla homestay. Tucked away in the hills outside Munnar, it's peaceful, quiet, and completely surrounded by nature. And honestly, after a drive like this, it feels like the perfect place to end the day. But our Munnar adventure is just getting started. In the next video, we'll explore some of the most beautiful places around Munnar. So stay tuned for the next part of this Kerala road trip. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.